Beautiful creators, this month of March 2025 is a true mumbo jumbo roller coaster. So we are being requested to not hold back anything anymore. This month is about getting the voice or getting the throat elongated to the brain, so you channel your information but keep the balance, the peace and the harmony at all times, because it's the month we truly start out this year, as the former months have been about resetting the things, making the new decisions. Right now, many people are rethinking, how am I gonna move forward? What am I going to do? What is my passion? Where are my seeds? You know, seeds, don't fish for seeds, they're all inside. We are piled with seeds, and cells explode with new information about yourself if you just go into your inner light, align to the divine, and asking your source for the correct orchestration to bring to your divine path. And so today I had that thing like, let's pull out some cards, which I usually don't do, but I love it, just to give you some idea how important it is to really to become you, to be you on all levels, and create that new you. Then of course, okay, the old is going to be deleted so quickly these days. Like, we cannot possibly have recycled consciousness. So a good tip here to release that recycled consciousness, or these thoughts that keep on going on, like, I need to say this or this to this person because this or this is going on my nerves, and it keeps on recycling and you don't know how to fire it out. The best thing to do is to do it right now. Right now. So my suggestion here is, I would just immediately go to that person if you have that capacity. I do, so many fear that, but I do. I had something in my brain going on here where the place I lived that was not okay, and I was thinking like, hey, that or that thing needs to repair, and I said, okay, let's pull it out, let's get it in and see what the reaction is gonna do. And that brings such an immediate relief, thinking about people that have so many recycled energy and never doing anything about it. Another great way that is going to have immediate effects actually is just going, putting it away again, but I'll pull them in a minute. Going into a meditation, visualizing the person just in front of you, having the figure 8, the number 8, spiraling through in the blue wave that brings the highest level of flow. And I'm just projecting from your brain like, hey, this is what I don't like. This is what needs to be reset. This is what I want to release, but I want you to know about it, how I see it, and bring to your divine solution for it, bring to how you feel about it, and get it over and done with, and see immediately how that person responds. Even they oftentimes either way reject it, they embrace it because they've been awaiting it and loving it, or you would have another reaction like in person, for example, bringing to another equation that may benefit both, but see the outcome like you want it, in a pure, balanced, peaceful and harmonized way. Without it, you won't have the greatest results, and you have a recycle again. So that is one thing you could do. So here, as we go into these huge shifts, is what I wanted to say is, as the throat is elevating, the voice is coming out, you won't be able to hold that voice back. So it'd be better balance, not to cause any havoc or trouble in wherever you live or live with, or people in your surroundings, or on the job even. So that would be a great thing. And then on the other hand, it would also be great to elevate your telepathic communication with yourself, from the divine to the self, from guidances to the self, from hierarchies to the self, because that is going to be very, very important if we want to recreate unity, going or flowing away from anything that is the division, if you want that to be, because anything that is division is cracking more and more and more through everything that was the corruption. So we don't want to go there, right? We want to lift ourselves up, we want to uplift. But what is the origin? Because a lot of the higher energies are being grounded on the planet, being grounded. Your brain has the capacity to elevate consciousness, but also elevate knowledge, also elevate personal education, also elevate new decisions, also elevate new creational output. So many may be very, very dissatisfied with life at the moment, or saying I'm always doing the same things, and getting out of that cycle and really thinking about what is a particular thing I always wanted to do but never did so because of fear of doing so, fear of luck, fear of failure, the fear list is endless. So that is complete dark energy. We do not want to go there. There's no such a thing as fear and failure. That's part of the illusion we have been living through. If you live in truth, you don't fear failing, because you would see failure some sort of as a beautiful lesson, and you would embrace it as a lesson. So you change the wording. So the power of the word is coming completely in. So here I was going to pull a card from the card deck of Thoth. That is one. I'll put it right here away. Then I have another deck. I pull a card that is with the animal kingdom and the elements. So see how that powers up, because your word matters. Who you are matters. That's another one. Pull it right here. Then I have an interesting deck, which I love, that is African goddesses, which is something I don't know much about, but it's my new passion. Actually, you know, I've always been interested in Africa, but never did anything. So at least I bought this pack and I'm starting to work with it, see where I come through. And I must say, to my former days, 2 or 3 days in meditation, I was being guided into Africa. I seen so crystal clear, because it's the year 2025 of pure clarity. So we purify the eyes on a higher level. So that comes through the invisible way. The invisible way is to be worked with for an entire year, and every month, every day, every week you upgrade and upgrade. It's such a fun to work with. So if you want the alignments, they are all out there, or you can just subscribe to my newsletter if you love that, and I'll bring through the information. So here, that is one of the goddess I pulled through, and I put that here. And then I have a last one that is also connected to, let's say in general, the elements, because we're made up of elements. So for me, this year at least, it's going to be a massive investigative year regarding my interest in giving people a higher level of healing, that they can perform themselves with natural things. We're going back to nature. We're going to live back with the elements. We're going to be part of the recreation of the earth, the soul, and going out of the sickness. So that's another card. And now let's see all 4 cards what I have. So I have here the one with the elements, vibrancy. That is, especially here in this month of March, vibrancy. That is a peacock coming out. That is also a request from the divine to shine your light, to inspire yourself in the first place, and then inspire others, but also to practice that a little bit of humility and getting new information. So the more information you get, the more you can spread your wings. The more you spread your wings, you become one with the elements, the more the telepathic waves can move to the throat. Open your crown, and seeing this as just one channel to move through, because being true to yourself is recognizing your brilliance. So when it comes to myself, I must say, I feel so good. I mean, I'm hitting 65, and I can't say I felt good in my 30s, 40s, or 50s, ever. It's right now, it's like my entire energy field, my body is on a revival mode, like a regenerative motor that doesn't stop. So here, another one that I have put out with Toad. That is the Toad deck, if you remember Toad from the ancient vibes. That is actually the creation. What I can see here, we see 5 swords. That creates an arc of energy in the middle, and also a 5-pointed pentagram, right? A 5-pointed star. So, and I see the colors purple coming through, and with it, you can turn it any which way you want. You will always have an arc energy. You turn it this way, you have an arc. You turn it this way, you have an arc, or like a dome of energy surrounding the earth as a protective vibe. You turn it that way, you have that arc again. So that pentagram matching 5 strong swords, because the swords are coming back into creation this year as well. It configurates your strength, your capacity to move into the higher self at all times, be with the higher self, because that is where your strength comes from, and align to the higher level of what you never thought was possible, because you are all eternal beings, being part of this crystal sphere that is the earth. So you need to see crystal clear, polish the eyes, polish the ears, polish the throat, and then the body will follow suit. And that is how things are configured. So it's a very interesting card if you just work with a pentagram. So the most important could be a lavender and a white one. I'm pulling out the information very, very soon, because I work with both very, very much. So that will come into my new newsletters, how to work with it, how to recreate with it, how come it was lost, and how it actually defines the spiritual body. And that has a triplicate movement. The spiritual body moves, of course, with the amethyst crystal. So, and the amethyst crystals from many countries upgrade each other. So the first one comes from Brazil, the amethyst from Brazil, the crystal sphere is the first layer you can touch with a spiritual body. If you move your body all the way less to universal, then you start to touch everything that is in Peru, that uplifts the higher vibration. And when you uplift again into your eternal, immortal, omnipresent body from the I am presence, you start to work with the Thunder Bay frequencies, that is a crystal in Thunder Bay in Canada. So, and you can work with all 3 configurations at least. So it's very, very interesting, the cards coming out here. So that's 1, 2. And then we have the element, couldn't be better. That is your potential, the big you for the future, your crystal ball, your crystal sphere. Everything that you are is encoded in a crystal sphere. So it's very important here that this comes out this month, and how these cards follow up with the purification of your particular voice. What do you have to say? Is your voice balanced? Is it suiting what comes out? Do you need to rebalance? Is there things like, completely stuck here where you're completely in a fear syndrome of speaking out, whatever you have to say, it's all okay. Like if you have good intentions, it will be polished. So if you think big for what's going to happen next month, you will have a big month with a return of your individual investment in the self, of course, and all your information coming through your meditation investment with the divine, with your source, where you feel the pulsations going and going, and you follow that divine path, and you work with millions and billions of colors, or at least the new tree of life, at least the higher ways, the 10 higher ways. Then that crystal sphere that is around the light body, the Makiva, comes to life and start to direct with teams of light that have the same configuration actually. And then we have the last one, that is our goddess in Africa, and that is Mebuya Nihanda Yi Ji. Radical rebirth. Oh gosh. That is what the month of March promises. Radical rebirth. I don't know if I have any information there. I'm not sure. Yeah, I have a little one. So that is, because I'm not used to these, or you can interpret it, because you can see quite easily that the crystal sphere is elevating. It's like the wheels of light open up the power, or the wheels of self-empowerment. It's like the golden wheel or the golden plate that deities have behind their head. And working with that all of the time, when you can align and do have the knowledge from the origin, or you want to move into that, I can provide you that information. So of course she has the strength of the 2 lions, male female positions. Of course she has the staff, the golden staff of eternal light in her. What else? Because I don't want to look in the book, I want to have my own interpretation. And you can see the flower of living light, what many call the flower of life, behind her head or her brains as well. Because all these lower centers, as she is showing, they move all the way into the higher, omni-beyond, eternal, immortal self. So I like that one. So if you put these cards together, then you know what to expect this month. So you have the crystal ball effect. You have here the radical rebirth. And so you move that all the way up with the peacock, the highest of vibrancy that you can have without ever willing to avoid taking inventory of what needs to be evaporated from your air, from your energy, from your air, I would say, because uplifting energy comes through the uplift of the breathing system, or many breath systems in the body. So not just the lungs and the heart, but there's many portal points in our brain as well that need a rebirth into a higher frequency of the breath. That is what I'm starting to provide here. I have a March equinox coming up called the House of the Rising Sun number 3, coming out March 15. If you want to go to a huge equinox, that is what you can do. And then you have the magical pentagram. So you have everything to move actually from the pentagram into your arc, making the bridge of light on the mountaintop. Because when you're on the mountaintop, then you see how the valleys are structured. Then you see the structure of the universe. When you're on that arc of energy, you can open your own divine path, because it lays just in front of you. And when you walk that divine path, you open up your crystal sphere for crystal strength, for guidance. And of course, you open up a higher voice because you get more confident to the throat. You get more harmonized. And when you're there opening the throat and you speak telepathically with everything in existence, then you find a new voice that will explain you what is your highest purpose, what is your highest passion, what is your mastery. So not just following up the old nonsense talk going on, because there is no logic on the airplane when you live on the living light earth and you feel your feet and your entire body completely circling in and out like the Taurus, flowing and flowing from one particular vortex into the next one. So not being stuck. I give you one example. I moved to this place like a year ago. And then I was 3 months on a travel, and right now I come back. I changed everything. I repainted furniture, I threw away stuff, I commanded in new stuff, and now I'm starting to plant my new seeds, but literally seeds. So, and that may be of interest to some. But I mean to say that I'm tired of synthetic food that have no taste any longer. So I'm starting out that little particular garden here in containers with vegetables, herbs and flowers, mixing them together. And I have no knowledge whatsoever, but I do know that with the higher alignments into the celestial universal self, you just do things without questioning them. And so here my motivation in the first place was like, before I left 3 months here, when I came back, like I have 5 or 6 plants in the house, bigger plants. And I communicate telepathically. So what do? Like let them die off, like, okay, no big deal. I just want to go. Like, I didn't put much time in it. But what I do, like an automatic, is pull crystals with my plants. And so as I came back, of course, I watered them, and it was looking like they didn't have any nutrition, any water, just nothing for 3 months. And they look more beautiful than before. Just only one was very fragile and died off. And guess what? It was the only one that didn't have crystals in it. So working with crystals and gemstones, and that I put with it like an automatic, I want to test that out for a better vegetable garden. So I have my potty ground and whatever, but I don't want to buy compost. I don't want to buy nutrition. So I want to listen and learn what the divine has in store for me, as we all need to be in the repair of the entire planet. And that starts with small things. I'm starting out, and so I'm definitely going to bring out stuff how to do it, bring the proof with you. So this will be my new experiment. So I hope, let me know if you know about gardening, how you do it, or on terrace or in a garden or whatever you fancy. Let me know if that is your thing, if you have great knowledge or even suggestions here. I will start out with like 6 big containers like this and see what's going to happen, because there is no logic. I do understand, like the earth, the soil lost its nutrition due to overconsumption, due to malfunction, due to abuse, so many things I don't want to talk about anymore, as we do know it needs repair. So I'm not even sure if what we buy in shops, even if it's bio or whatever, I don't even care for that either anymore, because I don't see and feel and taste any difference. So here is about opening the higher senses and also telepathic communication with the crystals, with the herbs, with the plants, with the vegetables, and see how that works out. And I will definitely also connect with the higher light sciences, bringing the light physics, the light science to the ground floor, and see what I can do. As I did have some questions today, and I said, you're a designer, you're a light coder, you can encode the DNA, RNA to move into the science beyond the new embodiment that we as a human body are moving into. And that starts out right now. So I know this for some time, but I didn't know I could actually put the light codes I'm working with currently. And here is a new one I'm very fond of. I hope you like it. So the first one here, that is a pink vibration. It's a pink way. It carries very high intelligence, and it also has to do with the fusion of the broken veins that happened and that need to come together. So every problematic static on the planet is Lady Gender that comes back to the pink way. Everything Alpha Omega needs to come together into oneness. So working with that a lot, and of course bridging. So this one is what I just got, and like I thought it was difficult to create or to make, but I did it right. It's that silver wheel that carries that lavender amethyst emission of the spiritual body with it, and that actually defeats that old consciousness that oftentimes stands in the way for you to flourish, to go, but also needs to go with another diagram I'm working out right now. But that is my investigation, what I will do actually as a new passion, because I feel I need a new passion every year. Like I see the growth process, and that is what the divine would love to encourage within you. See your process, you know, go steady. Even if it's slow, go steady, no matter what. See your progress within 1 month. So every week. So have an inventory every week, not every 5 months, every week. And at the end of the month, are you satisfied or not? Do not judge the self, have no opinion about the self. Always be grateful and encourage yourself. Because that is the way to go with the divine. You know, if we have that strength and we need to uplift, and I actually want to pull another card with these goddesses. I don't know. It just triggers me, like, see what it has to say. I feel that power with that lady, and it's because the month of March is all about the rebirth into crystalline vision, the crystal, and of course the peacock expanding, and you know, you have the magic of the pentagram. So these cards uphold in perfection. I mean, can't imagine any better, right? It all comes down to it. And it actually, for those who want to go into meditation, so I would suggest March 13, 14, 15 are extreme dates for a complete transformation that goes actually with the omnipotent black ray that eliminates anything you want to eliminate, and opens up the portal on the 15th that goes with a complete renewal of the body, regeneration, a crystallization of the bones, a rewire of the brain. It goes with a new communication system in the body. So if you want to partake of that, that is my Equinox seminar actually, and that goes over 2 days. You can do that online, and that will bring a huge transformation for the incoming 3 months. It's very, very potent. Yet you will have the streaming of alignments to 3 videos So the explanation, the alignment, and then an extra video for daily alignments that takes another hour. So that's a lot. Oh yeah, I'm just shifting, shuffling. I am changing. That's all there is to it. Can't come out any other way. And this is what we are going to see on the planet a lot. Many people just speaking, and they will not be able to hold the self back. So you better be in purity, right? Okay, what do I have? Oh gosh, the Medusa. The Medusa. You can see that. You see the double moon energies here. That is double arcs rising. And then, of course, she has that red plate. That is the a red strength. I was looking for that booklet. That is number 23. 23, the number, again, is a pentagram, right? 2 and 3 makes up 5. So it's getting more interesting by the day, and I feel that passion moving in it. And let me know if you love this kind of information, because encouraging people and seeing how you move forward is part of my interest. So it's the element fire, of course, coming through, if you allow that fire, because that is the breath you need to take with closed eyes, as they said, as you put both hands on the lower abdomen, as they say, and you tune in the part of you that feels out of control, and then you delete it, because that is the way how you regain control in all situations. So you have the right to truly release the old emotional baggage, is what she's saying. Just do it personally. Do it in your private space. Don't do it in public. Or when things are triggering you, just leave that situation and allow the self to move in there. So find something for a renewed passion, actually. So I took time, actually, with the change of the year, December, January, February, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't find it, and the divine goes, be patient, it's coming through. You know, one thing is steady, that's your design, they said. But another thing, you need to be daring. Are you daring? Yeah, of course. And so then that steadily was growing, and I didn't even notice it, my interest in the elements. And then the divine says, you're carrying more elements that are part of you, work with them. And so I will definitely plant the elements that are part of me and see how they grow, how they communicate, why they are part of me, and so forth. I know one of the elements is moss. So I'm not sure what I can put moss with, or can I put flowers, herbs with moss. Or so. If you have any suggestions, let me know, because for me that's the most difficult one. And I definitely have the cornflower for many years as an assistant as well, with most of my information, and a lot more coming through. So all of these things will come true. Let me know if you work with anything in nature, if you work with anything in design, if you struggle with anything, just let it flow, communicate it. It already shifts like 50% if you just communicate whatever you want to put out there. And that is the way of the divine, that is your way, and it is your divine path. So I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, feel free to subscribe to my newsletter if you want more information about transformation, about ascension, and getting out of the airy-fairy ascension that keeps one stuck in chakras. We don't live in chakras. We live ourselves in pillars and pillars and pillars that upgrade, like it's eliminating the entire earth volume, is what they're saying. So when the information is channeled, you carry a crystal ball into the heart center, and at one point in time, your heart center will explode with joy. And joy is the ultimate sensation of the divine coming through. If you want to live in truth, if you want to live in serenity, if you want to live in humility, and if you want to assist the divine to create with the divine plan, along with your individual plan being exposed, because that is how you assist the divine, opening up your crystal ball from the heart into the heart of all. Thank you so much. I'm Charity. See you next week. Thank you.